In 1995, at the absolute lowest point of his life, Dwayne Johnson discovered the single, non-negotiable rule that would eventually make him one of the most famous and successful men in the world. Now, this wasn't some complex business plan or a lucky break that just fell into his lap. No, it was a brutal, simple choice he was forced to make when he had absolutely nothing left to lose. A moment of profound failure that would become the very cornerstone of his entire empire. And you know what? It all started with a single, devastatingly small number.
This, $7. That is all he had in his pocket after his lifelong dream of playing professional football completely imploded. He'd just been cut from the Canadian Football League, and he had to make that humiliating call to his father to come pick him up. I mean, can you imagine? Just staring at the raw, visceral shame of being flat broke, a grown man with a failed dream, heading back to a home where his family was facing eviction. For most people, this moment of total crushing failure, this is where the story ends. But for Dwayne Johnson, this was the beginning of everything. He realized right then and there that he couldn't rely on random bursts of motivation anymore. He couldn't rely on talent or on the structure of a team. All of that had just failed him. He needed something unshakable, something that came purely from within. He had to impose absolute, military-grade control on a life that was just spiraling into chaos. This wasn't just about finding a new job, it was about building a psychological fortress, brick by painful brick. This was the birth of a system designed to guarantee one thing above all else, that no matter what happened on the outside, his effort could never, ever be denied.
Okay, so let's dive into exactly how he did it. We're going to break down the system Dwayne Johnson built from that $7 moment. We'll start with how he was forged by failure, and then we'll unpack his core philosophy, discipline before motivation. From there, we'll get into the weeds of the pre-dawn system he uses every single day, see how that built a legacy of trust, and finally, figure out how you can find your daily anchor. Let's get right into it.
So where does this incredible, almost superhuman drive really come from? Well, to truly get who he is today, you have to understand the fear that created him. The discipline that now defines Dwayne Johnson wasn't some lifestyle choice he made when he was successful. It was a survival mechanism. It was forged in the fire of his youth, in a constant state of chaos that created this unshakable, desperate need for control. His early life was really the blueprint for this whole mindset. He was raised in the turbulent, nomadic world of pro wrestling, always moving from town to town. This meant financial instability wasn't just a possibility, it was a daily reality. This constant uncertainty hit a peak in the most traumatic way, coming home at 15 years old to find an eviction notice slapped on the door. This wasn't just a tough time, it burned a deep-seated fear of lack right into his psyche, a fear of ever being that poor again. It's a trauma he talks about openly, one he consciously and ruthlessly uses as fuel to this very day.
That background really set the stage for the moment that would define everything. You see, 1995 wasn't just one failure. It was a devastating 1-2 punch. First, he lost his entire identity as an athlete when his football dreams died. And second, he lost his financial security, landing right back at square one with those $7 in his pocket. This was his crucible. It was the moment he realized that talent and luck are fleeting. They're unreliable. The only thing he could truly control, the one constant he'd seen in his own father's life as a wrestler, was the raw, brutal effort he put in before the sun even thought about coming up.
And that single realization led him to the simple but incredibly powerful belief that would fuel his entire empire. This is it. This is the core strategic principle of his famous 4 a.m. rule, discipline before motivation. It sounds pretty simple, right? But make no mistake, it's a radical shift in how most of us approach our goals, our achievements, and our success. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one hand, you have motivation. It's a feeling, it's fleeting, it's unreliable, and it's purely emotional. Motivation waits for you to feel like doing something, which, let's be honest, is a recipe for disaster. Johnson completely rejects this. On the other hand, you have discipline. This isn't a feeling, it's a system. It's non-negotiable, it's action-based. And here's the key, discipline forces the work, whether you're in the mood or not. He understood a powerful truth. You don't wait for the desire to work, you create the desire through the work. He takes this philosophy and turns it into a powerful physical practice he calls the daily anchor. Now, this is the key concept to really get. The daily anchor is a non-negotiable, difficult task that he conquers first thing in the morning. So why does he do this? It's a strategic move. It's designed to generate internal momentum and, maybe most importantly, to create tangible physical proof of effort before the day has a chance to throw distractions, problems, or negativity at him. He wins the day before the day has even started. By voluntarily choosing the hardest time, those quiet pre-dawn hours, and conquering a brutal workout, he's sending a powerful, undeniable message to his own subconscious. This action serves as undeniable proof that reinforces this one core belief: I am the hardest worker in the room. That self-generated proof then becomes the only motivation he actually needs. See, it's not about feeling good, it's about earning the right to believe in himself. It's a self-perpetuating cycle of belief and action that just gets stronger every single morning.
All right, so that's the philosophy. But a philosophy without a system is just a good idea, right? This is how Johnson turns that idea into an exact, actionable routine. This is where the 4 a.m. rule becomes a precise, high-volume system designed to maximize output and build that psychological fortress before the world can even interfere.
This is his discipline-driven workload system, and it is a masterclass in structure. First, the wake-up call is between 3:30 and 4 a.m. There's no snooze button. The day starts with an act of pure discipline. Second, he immediately hydrates while he starts to anchor his thought process for the day, mentally reviewing his huge long-term goals. This isn't just daydreaming, it's strategic alignment. Third, 30 to 50 minutes of fasted cardio. He's super clear that this isn't just for fitness. He calls it his active meditation, a time to get mental clarity and plan his attack for the day. And finally, the main event, the Iron Paradise Anchor, a grueling 2-hour intense weight training session.
He famously calls the gym his Iron Paradise, but you know it's so much more than that. It's his sanctuary. It's his metaphor for life. Think of it like a bank. This is the one place he can go every single morning and deposit all of his doubt, his stress, his anxiety, his fears. And in return, he withdraws the concrete physical proof of his power, his commitment, and his control. It's a daily transaction, an exchange of weakness for strength that sets the tone for everything else that follows.
And this system, it isn't just for personal satisfaction. It delivers 2 crucial strategic outcomes every single day. First, by front-loading the hardest, most self-demanding work, his personal and physical well-being are locked in as a non-negotiable asset before the 14-hour demands of a Hollywood set or his business empire can start chipping away at him. And second, he walks into every meeting, every negotiation, every single room with the quiet, unshakable confidence of a man who knows without a doubt that he has already outworked everyone else in there. I mean, what a powerful competitive advantage.
And over years, and then decades, this daily system of relentless effort began to compound. It didn't just transform his body or his career. It transformed the very nature of what a modern celebrity brand could be. It created a global legacy built on one simple, yet incredibly powerful currency: trust.
This timeline just perfectly illustrates the compounding effect of that daily discipline. This was not an overnight success. From his WWE debut in '96 to becoming a bankable Hollywood star to eventually co-founding his own media empire, which he so perfectly named $7 Productions, forever tying his greatest success back to his lowest moment. And today, he's a global icon. This wasn't some meteoric rise. It was a slow, steady, relentless climb, built day by day on the foundation of that 4 a.m. rule.
And that is the absolute key to his business empire. By making his discipline public, by being radically transparent about the sweat and the struggle, he built this incredible bridge of trust with his audience. His hard work became his brand. Studios and business partners know he will show up prepared and ready to outwork everyone. He literally turned the shame of his $7 rock bottom into a universal mantra of self-empowerment. His discipline isn't just a personal habit, it is the bedrock of his value. It is his most bankable asset. Which brings us to the final, and I think the most important part of this whole thing. Because this isn't just about admiring his work ethic, it's about understanding the profound lesson here and actually applying it. It's about how you can find your own daily anchor. The ultimate lesson of the 4 a.m. rule is this: the only thing separating you from your highest potential is your willingness to submit to a non-negotiable discipline. You gotta stop waiting for motivation to strike. Stop living a life dictated by fleeting emotions. Your future success isn't a gift, it's a direct fee, and that fee has to be paid by your present effort, day in and day out without fail.
So, how do you create your own anchor? Well, the formula is simple, but it is not easy. It needs these 3 things. First, it has to be a difficult, self-demanding task. It's got to be something that really challenges you. Second, it must be done early, ideally hours before the world wakes up
and starts making demands on your time and your energy. And third, it has to be a non-negotiable commitment. This isn't something you do when you feel like it. It's the promise you make to yourself and the daily proof that you actually keep it.
Because in the end, that's what this entire philosophy is really all about. It's not about one heroic motivational effort that just burns out. It's about the quiet, powerful compounding interest of daily discipline. Success is not an overnight event. It's the slow, steady result of getting just a little bit better every single day than the day before. It's about relentlessly, systematically choosing discipline over motivation.
So as we finish up, I want you to remember who Dwayne Johnson was at his core. A man defined by a deep fear of poverty, a man haunted by the memory of an eviction notice. His greatest weapon against that fear wasn't fame or talent, it was the clock. He created this legacy of unparalleled trust and wealth by relentlessly choosing discipline before motivation every single morning. So the question for you is this: what is the one difficult thing you will conquer before dawn to pay the fee for your future success?